It's the night of August 29th, 1776, and right here, on the shores of Brooklyn, New York, the American Revolution is hours away from total, catastrophic failure. George Washington's army is trapped. Behind them, a vast British fleet, the most powerful navy on Earth. In front of them, over 20,000 professional, red-coated British and Hessian soldiers, fresh off a crushing victory. And right here, at their backs, the East River. For 9,000 American soldiers, most of them inexperienced militia, this isn't a battlefield, it's a cage. And in the morning, the doors slam shut. The dream of American independence is about to be strangled in its crib. But what happens next isn't a battle, it's a miracle. And it all started with a secret letter and a very mysterious fog.
So, how did we get here? Just a few weeks earlier, things were looking up. The Declaration had been signed. There was passion, there was pride. But war isn't about declarations, it's about ground. And Washington knew New York was key. He fortified it, but he was a land general facing a sea power. And then they arrived. In late June, Admiral Howe's brother, General William Howe, shows up with a jaw-dropping armada. Over 400 ships. It was the largest expeditionary force Britain had ever launched. Ever. The message was clear. This rebellion ends now. The battle was a disaster. Outflanked, outgunned, and outclassed, the Americans were driven back to their fortifications on Brooklyn Heights. They'd taken heavy losses. Morale was shattered. Now, they were surrounded. The British began digging siege trenches. In the morning, it would be over.
Back at headquarters, the mood is funeral. The options are terrible. Fight and be annihilated, surrender and be hanged for treason. Then a glimmer. A colonel named John Glover speaks up. He wasn't a traditional soldier. He was a Marblehead fisherman. And his regiment, all sailors and fishermen from Massachusetts. Glover makes an insane proposal. We can evacuate the entire army across the river to Manhattan. The river is over a mile wide with a vicious, unpredictable tide. The British ships are right there. It's a suicide mission, but it's the only mission they have. Washington gives the order. Gather every boat, every sloop, every rowboat, every flat-bottomed scow. Do it in absolute silence. As night falls, the evacuation begins. Glover's Marbleheaders row back and forth, loading up dazed, exhausted soldiers and ferrying them across the dark, swirling water. It's painstakingly slow. The hours tick by. Panic sets in. They'll never make it. The sun is coming. And then it happens. A fog rolls in. But not just any fog. Contemporary accounts describe it as almost supernatural, a dense, impenetrable wall of white that blankets the entire river, hiding the evacuation from the British camps just hundreds of yards away. It was so thick you could barely see the man in front of you. For the Americans, it was a gift from God, a miracle.
The fog buys them precious time, but the sun is winning. It's almost 7 a.m. Most of the army is across, but Washington is still on the Brooklyn shore, directing the last units. This is where history gets its perfect, cinematic moment. As the final boat pushes off, loaded with the last of the rear guard, the fog lifts. Not slowly, it just vanishes, as if it had done its job and was dismissed. And on the other shore, a British sentry squints his eyes. He sees the last boat, and he sees the empty American fortifications. He raises his musket and fires. The British couldn't believe it. 9,000 men had vanished into thin air right under their noses. They had been outmaneuvered without a single shot being fired. The revolution was still alive. So,
Why does this matter? Why is this the miracle that saved America? Simple. The revolution ran on people. It wasn't about land. It was about the idea of America. If that army had been captured or destroyed in 1776, that idea would have died with it. There was no backup army, no second chance. Those 9,000 men who escaped went on to become the veterans of Trenton, Princeton, and Valley Forge. They became the core of the Continental Army that would eventually win the war half a decade later. Washington learned a crucial lesson that night. He couldn't win a head-on fight with the British. He had to be smarter, more nimble. He had to survive.
History isn't just about the big, famous battles. Sometimes it's about the retreats, the close calls, the silent, desperate actions of fishermen in the dead of night, and the inexplicable weather that changes the fate of a nation. The miracle of Long Island is proof that sometimes, to win, you first just have to live to fight another day. What's another incredible narrow escape from history you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Rookie Fact Finder for more histories reimagined.